Is there anyone who doesn't understand Assamese, or there are quite a few? Okay. Right.
Then I think
Namaskar to everyone, and warm greetings on the occasion of the 8th International Yoga Day. In fact, we are all doing yoga, knowingly or unknowingly. We are all doing yoga. We might be aware about it, or we might not be aware about it. But the truth is, we are all doing yoga. This is not true for only people who stay or live in India. It is across the globe. As Mahapurush Madhavdev said, Naratono, he has word, they use Naratono. Once you are born with this body, we practice, or no, we don't say, I'm not using the word practice, but we do yoga. A little while ago, Mananiya Director Sir has quoted from Bhagavad Gita. Well, I am not much conversant with Bhagavad Gita. Or, for me, besides that little introduction which was given, I owe my education to Vivekananda Kendra. Once again, I'd like to say that my real education started in 1997, July. So since then, I always say that I got myself re-educated, or unlearning and learning. And this real education, I was blessed because I got associated with Vivekananda Kendra. I'll share about Kendra in the later part of my sharing. And whatever I'm going to share here is because of Vivekananda Kendra. I'm here because of that organization called Vivekananda Kendra. Presently, I'm responsible as a joint secretary in that Institute of Culture, one of the projects of Vivekananda Kendra in Uzan Bazaar. It's a research organization, doing documentation research in the area of culture. Now, it's a very important occasion for us. We have to understand the significance of this day. I'll try to again cover this up. But coming back to the topic which I had chosen actually to deliberate on, or to share my thoughts on, is yoga, a way of life. This year's theme is yoga for humanity. Manavatar karne yoga. Manav jati ke liye yoga. ऐसा बताया गया है. So Manav is a big jati. Human is a big thing. But then, coming back to a micro level, I'd like to focus more on the self, the individual. India is a great country, we need not talk about that. We all know about it, we are aware about it. When we say India, to really understand India at a deeper level, we have to go to Bharat. Because in Bharat lies the real knowledge, or in Bharat lies the destined role of this nation. Our Shastras are full of our documents pertaining to dialogues of great rishis and munis, sant log ka जो बातें हैं वो वहाँ पे लिखा गया है. तो ऐसा एक और ये जो dialogues है, these are all interactions, group discussions or whatever. I'd like to start with a story. It goes like this: a boy once walked up to his father, and also, what happens? Suddenly, his son comes up and asking a very absurd question: "Who is he?" He said that you're Dipankar. No, that's a name you have given me. It's a name you have given me. Who am I? Then the father realized that that's a very important question his son has posed, and asked the son to go and think, to contemplate. You'll get the answer. You go back and think, you'll get the answer. So, as advice, the son goes back and started thinking. And the son realizes that He has 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 legs. The physical body, and he realizes that he is the body. मैं शरीर हूँ. He was happy. He is not Dipankar, but he is the body. And went up to his father and said, "Father, father, I am the body. मैं शरीर हूँ." Father looks at him and said, "No, I'm afraid you are not the body." Then the son said that, "Who am I? Please tell me." He is eager to know. Then again, father says, "You go back. You go back and think. You'll get the answer." Again advises the son to go and think. Son, listening to the father, goes back and starts thinking again. And then realizes that, okay, he has a body, the body is there, but then he's breathing. सांस लेते हैं, फिर सांस छोड़ते हैं. उखालोई से उखाईली से. So he is the breath. Oh, I'm not the body, I'm actually the breath, or प्राण, जिसमें हिंदी में बोलते हैं, मैं प्राण हूँ. And he's very happy in knowing the answer that he is actually the pran. He's not the body, but he's a pran, and goes back to his father happily and telling father that I am the breath, or I am the vital energy. It's also known as the vital energy. Father looks at him and said, "No, you're not that. You're not the pran or the breath. You're someone else." Son, very eager to know, again asks the question that, who am I? Please, I want to know the answer. Father says, "No, go and start thinking again." Again advises the son to go back to think. Son again goes back and start thinking. Then realizes, oh yes, it's true, he's not the body or the pran or the breath. There's someone else who's, controlling him at a different level. And he realizes that it is his mind. मैं मन हूँ. I am the mind. Oh, I'm not the body or the pran. I'm the mind. So he's very happy in knowing the answer, and then goes back hurriedly to his father, telling that I am the mind. मैं मन हूँ. Father looks at him again and says, "No, you're not the mind. You're not the mind." Again, son asks him that, "Who am I? Please tell me. I want to know, please." Father says, no, you please, you go. You go and think, you'll get the answer. He was eager to know, a bit disappointed, but then again listens to his father and goes back again and starts thinking, this time going to deeper level, and then realizes, oh, his father has said it's true, it's not the body or the pran or the mind. He realizes that he's the intellect. मैं विवेक हूँ, बुद्धि हूँ. I'm not the body or the pran or the mind, I'm the intellect. Vivek हूँ. Then very confidently this time he goes back and tells the father, Father, I am the intellect, you're right. I am not the body, nor the pran, or the mind, I am the intellect. मैं विवेक हूँ. Very confident this time. Father again looks at him and said, no. Son, you're not the Vivek, you're not the intellect. And then, who am I? Please, I want to know the answer. Please tell me, who am I? And this time he's almost surrendering to his father. He wants to know, who am I? Father says, no, you go, you're on the right track, you go ahead, you please go think, you'll love this journey. And again advises the son obediently again listens to the father, goes back and starts thinking. And this time, he goes deep contemplation, deeper thoughts. And this time he doesn't return back with a question to his father. He doesn't come back this time to his father asking another question. Now why did it didn't come back? I am asking a question to you all. क्या कारण हो सकते हैं वो बच्चे फिर वापस नहीं आया पिताजी के पास? क्यों? क्या? What are the possibilities? It need not be a right answer or a wrong answer. Nothing like it. But what are the possibilities that he didn't come back to his father with another question? बताइए. Huh? Please? Started meditating. So, okay, one option is that the boy has started meditating and he didn't come back. He's still meditating maybe.
He merges with the self.
He merges with the self. Okay. So he merges with the self. And that's why he doesn't come back with an answer. Yeah, he merges with the self. As we understand, no, we have to merge with a, something higher and vilean individuality concept. No? But then why didn't he come up? These are all possibilities. He merges with the self, or he went into meditation. What else? Huh? What else? प्रश्न कब हमारे मन में आते हैं और कब नहीं आते ना? Why? When? See, if we now try to understand, when does a question come to our mind? When there is a question. जब एक प्रश्न उठते हैं तो जाके किसी को पूछते हैं हम. और प्रश्न कब नहीं आते हैं? जब हम जानते हैं. When I know the answer. This boy, he didn't come back. Maybe he knows the answer. Or when we don't ask a question. We don't ask a question when there is no question in our mind. We don't ask a question when we hesitate to ask a question. We don't ask a question when we are shy of asking a question. We don't ask a question when we fear asking a question. Why I am telling you all this? Because our education system, after 34 long years, we have got the 5th or 6th education policy. We have all grown up in the Macaulayan education system. The system of education which was left by the British. We do not know much about our Gurukul system. When in Vivekananda Kendra, when I came to learn about all these things, I was confused. I came to know about the book called The Beautiful Tree, written by Dharampal, which was an account left by the Britishers, and it was a description on the Gurukul system. See, my pointed reference here is about asking questions and the inquisitive mind, the curiosity. But coming back to the story which I have just narrated, the boy didn't come back because he got the answer. That's why he didn't come back with another question. And the story which I have just narrated is there in our Taittiriya Upanishad. This story I heard in 1997 when I was 33 years old. You can do a calculation and then find out my age. 97, 33 years. The way you have attended this 5 days yoga session, I'm sure last year or year before also in this institute, you must have had such sessions, yoga session, asanas. I was exposed to a 15 days yoga asana session in Vivekananda Kendra. Today also Vivekananda Kendra conducts that session. It's for 12 days in the morning, daily 1.5 hours. Total exposure of some 15 hours. And the turning point in my life, 97 July. And I always say that, I got a promotion. And the promotion is from a livelihood to life. Our education system prepares us for a livelihood, but tells very less about life. Life is something which we learn informally from our surroundings. As we grow, many of us, there are many elders here, we have seen life and we have learned about life. Probably today the time has come where in a structured way we need to understand about life also. This topic about yoga, way of life, as I told you, we are all doing yoga. We are knowingly or unknowingly. We are all doing yoga. The story which I have just narrated is from Upanishad called Taittiriya Upanishad. Now that again I would like to clear, I am not an expert in Upanishads and all. No, I just have heard often now and then, and that's how I have learned. Taittiriya Upanishad, this dialogue was between father and son. The son later on became Rishi Bhrigu. You must have heard about Rishi Bhrigu. And the father was Varun. And this chapter's name is Panchakosha. And after listening to this story, I was wondering, what has hold this story from me? At the age of 33 years, why I have to listen to this story? Why not at the early age? My question was that. And that question led me to understand a lot of other things, which I'm not going to share. But then coming back to the story, see, at a very gross level, we have got this Annamaya Kosh. At a very gross level, it's a sharir, it's a body. A very important aspect of this Annamaya Kosh is the five sense organs, what we call Pancha Jnanendriya. And the five action sense organs, five Karmendriya. Five Jnanendriya and five Karmendriya, very important aspects of our Sharira, of our body. And these five sense organs, both Karmendriya and the Jnanendriya, are external out. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. These are all external driven, and through it we gather knowledge. That's why I call Annamaya Kosha. It's called Annamaya Kosha. We take in Anna. Anna need not necessarily be on the food that we eat through the mouth. No, it's whatever we see is Anna for our body, mind, soul complex, whatever. Or for a mind, whatever you hear also. Your child learns that, the fire, the candle is hot after he is inquisitive. The child goes there and then suddenly realizes it's hot. That's from the skin, he understands. So learning takes place. So, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, our hands, our feet, our speech, our urination process and our injection process. These are the five ways how we external driven. So at this level, it's very important to understand the body. In modern times, we have the whole anatomy, the lungs, the heart, the digestive organs, the stomach, the kidneys, the juice, the joints, all these things put together. Constituting the human anatomy is an important component of our existence. We need to understand that. How much of it we know. What constitute, how much water constitute our body? Kiman? Pani kiman ase amar gat for real? How much water? 70%, right? Okay, 70%. Good that you know. How much water that we drink? We should drink. We should drink how much and how much we drink. I leave it to you. So one is knowing something and then again putting into practice. We know that it's good to drink water, 6-7 liters a day. But then do we get? We don't probably get time to also drink. I don't know. Many say that we don't get time. So then oral hygiene. I'm talking of the body. Brushing teeth. See, brushing teeth has got another aspect. If you've seen the advertisement, Masure, Masure means gums. We used to put our fingers and brush our teeth. बच्चे जब थे हम लोग, अभी भी लेकिन मैं करता हूँ. लेकिन ये gums आपको अच्छा रहना है तो you have to massage them with your finger. A brush cannot do that. So these are our culture basically, our traditional knowledge. Why important oral hygiene? Because that has a relation with the stomach. So these are all related things. So at the level of the body, we need to understand this body will and move forward. Then the next level of existence is the pranamaya kosha, or the prana, or the vital energy, or the breath. Breathing is not simply to our lungs. No, we breathe. Each and every cells in our body needs that vital energy. Prana. You just imagine, a thought. I'll climb up this 4 stairs and you just go up. But then if the pran nikal gaya to kya ho gaya? If the pran nikal gaya, so that body also, 4 of us cannot take that body to the 4th floor. How heavy that will be. You see the importance of the pran. That's why that English word vital energy, it's energy to pran. And without pran nothing happens. The whole life is full of pran. It's pran. Then another association of prana is with our longevity, Ayu. Ayush. You see how a dog or a cat breathes very fast. It breathes like that. And the longevity 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years. That's the end. Then if you look into an elephant or a tortoise or a python or jaguar, There are longevity if you see, it's because of the breathing process. Then with the breath is related to our emotions, our anger. When you're angry, what happens? Or if you try to put that thread into the needle, what happens to your breath? Or one who goes to a shooting practice, you observe your breath. You must have just, this 5 days in this asana program, I'm sure you must have told, Debojit asana here. No. Anyway, you must have told how much you have been told about to observe your breath. Because that's the process of moving ahead. So pranamaya kosh is a very important, and we have a whole lot of, whole science behind this, the pranayama. Then the mind, very chanchal, no? Abhi bhi baat hua na, chanchal man. Very important one. Mind is very important. You cannot just throw away your mind. Mind is what? It is composed of thoughts. You're just listening to me. After some time, your mind may be elsewhere. What after this? What is lunch? Or when you're studying, your mind might be not there in the book, though you are there in front of the book. It's natural. Mind is like that. Chanchal hai. बहुत गीत सारा लिखा हुआ है चंचल मन का कविता है गीत. It's like the river. If the river is a mind, then the tributaries are the thoughts. Or the ocean, if the ocean is a mind, the rivers are the thoughts. So mind is composed of thoughts, and there are plenty of thoughts. That is the nature of mind, and it's very fickle, and it's driven by a pancha Jnanendriya and pancha karmendriya, external oriented. It is outward driven. What is the Anandamaya Kosh? It's a soul, it's a Atma or the Ruh. In Islam religion we call it Ruh. The Christians call it soul. The Hindus call it Atma. What is the swarup of this? Nature of this? It is Anandamaya. If I ask you, at the end of the day, what do we want in life? What we want in life? Big question. There's a beautiful poem in Assamese. Where does this happiness lie? Or this? What is soul? Soul basically is eternal bliss. And that's our nature. That's why we want peace. We want to be loved. We want to love. We want to care. We want to share. We want to smile. That's a natural self. That's a natural self of a non-autono, anyone in a human form. That's natural, be it an American or a nigger or an Australia or a Bangladesh or a Pakistani. The truth is, his natural self is Anandamaya, Ananda Swarup. Now this Pancha Kosha, this is the 5 levels of existence. It's a journey from a gross level to a subtle level. Now the importance of yoga asana. What we are doing today is yoga asana. And through asana we can start from a gross to the subtle level. It's a journey. It's a journey we have to undertake today or tomorrow, in this life or the next life. This is destined to happen. We have to. That's why, as we go old, as we age, we suddenly, retirement, I say, I love dharma pura, you start taking interest in dharma, religious texts, But, I was blessed, at the age of 33, I got exposed to such things, And then I got married also, at the threshold of my career. My in-laws used to say, this is not the time for you to go to Swamiji and all, this is the time for you. I could understand their concern. They had the right concern. But that is ignorance. That's ignorance. Bhagavad Gita, Kurukshetra, today it's a Kurukshetra. Today it's a Kurukshetra within. Forget about outside. So this journey of Panchakosha, which can be traveled, So it's from a gross, that's a body, You must have all experienced as you do asana. Now asanas, there are a lot who feels that it's very boring, no? Because I'd rather go to a gym and pick up, you're a man, you pick up things, muscles and fine, that's also there, but then it is only at the body level. But the beauty of here is you address everything, not only your body at the physical level, but the internal organs, you start addressing them. You can talk to your kidneys. So at the sarira level you have that, and then at the pranic level. So it's a process, how you start, training your mind to move into subtle areas. You observe the flow of blood as it rushes to the fingertips, as you bring your hand down. You start training your mind to go to that area which is paining, and observe the changes, and that's how you go. And during that time, half an hour or 40 minutes, your mind is not in any other thing, it's in the body. So you start concentrating. The biggest challenge today is ekagramon, concentration, focused work. How do we do that? So we are gifted with this beautiful body, to practice this asana. And through asana, pranayama, and then you move forward. Happiness, follow your thoughts, and so on. Along with this, a very important concept that we have is the three gunas. Now it's tamagun, rajagun, sattvagun. Tamagun working on a body and mind. These are the gunas or the qualities. And in the mind and intellect, these are the qualities. You can see for yourself. See, very interesting. When I was I did my schooling in Don Bosco and all this, Linda Godman, Starcast and all these things, and what is ahead for the week and all this. But in Vivekananda Kendra, when I went then and learned about this concentrated forms, Tamagun, Rajagun, Sattvagun, operating in the four levels, and coming up with this n number of gunas, then I realized what I need to know. Have we ever mapped our own, we do our SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities and threat for organizations. For my own self, have I done a SWOT analysis? What gunas, see, morning, in the morning, our body is lazy. See, tamagun, our body is tamagun, it's made like that. We don't have to feel bad about it. If we don't have tamagun, we cannot sleep also. We need tamagun. So that tamagun, lethargic, inactivity, excesses, all this. Negative, imbalance, inertia, indiscipline, ignorance. We don't know that our body constitutes 70% water. Even if we know, we don't drink also. That's a different understanding. Chaotic, and procrastinate. Kal karenge, na? Is it thake? Oh, wo kali korim. এইবিলাক আমাৰ আছে নিজৰ ভিতৰতে সোমাই আছে এইবিলাক তমগুণী প্ৰভাৱ আৰু প্লাছ when the food বাহি খোৱা stale food ফ্ৰিজত ৰাখি খোৱা কালি খোৱা all these things leads to tamoguni. Then processed food now these days young executive working couples processed food, so this will lead to nothing but building your tamoguni. Long run there's going to be a lot of problems. So tamaguni, then you have to go beyond. You have to invoke the rajas. To get up in the morning, you have to invoke rajas. Put an alarm, or give a mental suggestion that if I don't get up, I'll become this. I used to do that. If I don't get up this morning, I'll become a kukur or whatever. Give a mental suggestion, and I drive myself. Or you look forward for something, go cycling or walking or a track or something, but make it a habit to, today if you look into education and especially, engineering students, my son did his engineering, he said, no, you don't understand. I cannot get up in the morning. I'm one way to my second one is in class 9. He got attracted because Ratiba cycling and all this, and he got somehow attracted. See, we don't try to understand the nature and how with the nature we should, synchronize. The setting sun or, the rising sun, what's our relation with that? What is Surya Namaskar? You have done Surya Namaskar?
Yes.
Okay. So Rajagun is hard work, active, restless, action. So these are again qualities which come up. A very restless person, but Rajaguni, hey, busy for nothing. He's very restless. That's Rajaguni Prabhav. Impatient. That's not good, of course. But then it is there, Rajaguni. Then passion, desire and attachment. Very passionate about things. Very passionate. Very passionate of his love. He loves her so much that that's love. But on the other hand, we see different kind of love, sacrifice. But etu kati diya kotha tu please. Enuka. Workaholic. Many of our faculties might be so workaholic. Especially, researchers, scientists, all of you, going deep into things, forgetting your food and everything, That's not balance. That's not yoga. So, desire is, the way we define roti kapra makan, define kar liya, there's no end to it. In management, we used to, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, security needs and all this we used to study. But then, there you get stuck with roti kapra makan, security. Your financial security. I still remember when I resigned from my job in stock exchange. I was married. My wife was also working, of course, somewhere. But my brother asked me, what will happen tomorrow you don't get the salary check and all? I still live with my parents. My father expired, my mother is there. Will you throw me out of if I don't start earning? Why are you saying that? That's a practical question. If I don't get the salary check, will you keep me at home? Financial security. So that is something, there's no end to it. Getting settled. There's a very beautiful story of Swamiji and going abroad. But then, roti kapra makan keeps us, but how much we need actually. Oops. Then craving, confused and selfish. Today very individualist society, very selfish. Craving for something, I don't know. So cheating, getting into cheating, students, once that marks, somehow or the other should get that marks. These are all Rajaguni Prabhav. Corruptions, if you look, it is Rajagun driving it. I want to be promoted, I want to get this and all. So all these things, the six enemies, what are Ripu Bulya koi? Lobh, Kam, Krodh, Madamacharya, all the six Ripus. See, it says that today the Asuras are within us, Asuric Shakti is within us also. Within. So we need to understand this and how to elevate ourselves from this Rajaguni. So Rajaguni at the mind and intellect level can create havoc. Emotion, ego. Ego doesn't help us to build teams. We all understand this. Ahankar is such that it doesn't allow us to, grow together. So these are all qualities coming from Raja, working in the body and mind and intellect. Then of course we move on to the next level, that's a Sattva. That's a level where we should be moving towards. The way we should move towards Anandamaya Ko, to understand the soul within us. Similarly, in the gunas we have to go to Bhakta-gun. In fact, Srimad Sankardev has told us to go beyond the gunas. Nirgun, he shared with us about Nirgun. So Sattva Gun is all about patience, listening ability, very important. Understanding, the skills which a child has to be developed is understanding skill, listening skill. These are the skills actually. In fact, I did a study way back in 2001-2 on learning process of a child who speaks in one language at home and is taught in one language at school. I did this for a very minority group, in Lahori Ghat, where they speak Bengali, Sylheti, and goes to an Assamese medium school. Or a Karbi Anglong, they speak Karbi, go to a Home medium school. Gwalpara, Sadri, Tea Garden. So, an interesting part, I speak Assamese at home, goes to an English medium school. And what's the learning process? Maria Montessori said, if you want your child to be intelligent, teach him mathematics in mother tongue. My mother can see, listening, I'm basically focusing on listening. It's a very important component or skill which one has to develop in order to understand, develop the understanding skill also. Shravan kora, Shravan. Then energetic, in fact, at the body level, if we see, look, listening, because your ears have to be good, sharp. Our weight is not balanced properly. If you look into our shoes, one pair will be eroding faster than the other one. It's because that mass is not evenly distributed. So hence in asana we have got tadasana, where you balance yourself, and you can consciously keep that practice on, like keeping your back straight and all. These are certain practices which, if you do it well at the body level, you have a good body. Then stamina, dynamic, attractive, being attractive, the personality, of the persona of a person. Then positive, the way it's negative here, it's positive, balanced, pure, courteous, compassion, sharing and caring, helpful. So these are all gunas. I won't go to, you all know about it. But then basically, a very important understanding is tamagun, rajagun, sattvagun. And all the three gunas we have to understand which we want to make it predominant. We can make tama predominant, means your growth is stunted. Raja also, it's required, otherwise your growth is not there. But then finally go to sattvagun, where it's a balance. And yoga is all about balance. And this can be practically done. See, this slide tells us about the levels. The body level, we can do jogging, walking, exercise, but yoga asana is ideally the subject which we should choose to move forward. That will train our mind to move towards the subtle areas. You start training your mind to move into subtle areas, and then get in touch with your viveka, be more there with the viveka, and then of course the atman. Now atman, these are all subtle things. There's no physical component there. Pran is the pranayam. Pranayam helps us to channelize our energy, divert the energy, and then takes us. So these are all practices which are possible, which can be done. Mind and intellect, silence, quietening of mind, meditation, group discussion, learning, swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is self-study. Even though you're not a structured program, you can take up some book, collective reading. That's how. In Vivekananda Kendra, we have got one process called the Swadhyaya, where we informally get together and to learn a particular text or any subject, and we discuss that. Then the soul, we can work on our soul regularly, and practicing truth. Ami kiman practice koro, how much of it we practice? Truth. Then art forms, craft, music, these are both the side of the brain, the left side and the right side. The left side is to do with your logic, arithmetic, intellect, and the right side is to do with your emotion. Very less we address the right side of the brain. So it's the right side of the brain which we need to address, and there are a whole lot of activity and work, music, craft, dance, which can help us to develop that. Teamwork, selfless work, niskam karma, without expecting anything. Today's society is, very much on what I'm going to get. So the moment we start doing certain things without expecting anything, you start addressing your soul, or you start taking care of your soul. It's not that, to understand the soul you have to, cross a particular age, no, it's not that. But, every moment one can really be with the soul or try to get it towards the soul. So these are a very practical way, and I'm very happy that, you have gone through that practical session of 6 to 7 days. The only thing, as our director sir has said, that you should keep on that practice. All of us, we should, as I told you, knowingly or unknowingly, we are actually all Godward bound. Yoga is nothing but understanding the supreme truth. First, of course, at the level of the self, the Jivatma. And once we are aware or we are conscious of the Jivatma, we know that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. Or as Jubin Garg says, Ami ekuta jontro. So Jubin Garg might also one day write, I am ekuta atma, but the time has to come. For that, the consciousness has to be there, where we consciously say that yes, I am the soul and I need to work for the soul. So this is at the individual level, where if we really want to understand life and not restrict ourselves to livelihood, just merely getting educated and then looking for a job somewhere, earning, and of course purusharth, it has to be there, artha, kam, but is it driven by dharma? Now once again, dharma is not that ritualistic dharma that we refer to, which religion refers to. So in this background, this life is meant for a larger good. Now next slide, I'm going to share about this. This is the model, if you see this spiral movement, and can someone tell me, is it familiar, this painting? Can someone recognize this art form? This is an art piece by a community from Maharashtra. It's called, the community is Warli, W-A-R-L-I. They're very famous in this form. And if you see, and it's all hand holding, no? You see? What is this signifying? What does it comes to your mind? Kiya hai or not? Unity. Okay. Absolutely, it's unity. India is a place of unity and diversity. We say that we are diverse, but then we are united. But then how much time do we talk about unity? We talk maximum, probably more than 95% time we talk about diversity. Ami belage, ami amar etu ene, amar bihu tu enu koi. Ami etu he khao. Ami belage, we are unique. But then what is the unifying links? In Vivekananda Kendra Institute of Culture, that's precisely what we do. Our documentation and research is to unearth the unifying links, the commonalities. Within the Northeast ascension, the energy is ascension, where you develop your chakras. This is all again Hadhana Katha, but then as I understand, or as we suppose, it's all about developing these chakras to go to higher level of consciousness and then move on to be united with a higher state of consciousness. Sri Aurobindo's yoga is all about dissension. He said that we don't have to work that much. Already the work is done. And he talks about dissension. Only thing you have to have an open mind. And the way in our traditional sastras we talk about Panchakosha, Sri Aurobindo has 7 layers of consciousness in the mind. Super mind, super mental. I'm not much aware of it, but there are 7 layers, such layers of consciousness. So this is, once again, it's destined to happen since we are born. And again, a very important concept or philosophy is that we are born because of a lot of punya. It's not that we are born as a sinner, the way the Christians. There's a lot of punya, a lot of good work, noble work that we have done. That's why we have got this Naratonu. Hence, the process is the research, which is inner research. This is external research, which is needed also. But then if we balance it with the inner research, then we'll be guided probably. If you look into today's physical science, it's moving to an area which is trying to understand the spiritual science. Spirituality is all about higher order science. The future product or the future technology is going to come from a higher mind. But are we working on a mind? Today, we have, No, why does it happen? Next slide, I'll try to share all this. So this is Akhanda Mandalakaram, and it is, now this is the Dharma Chakra, and you'll see here, Dharma Chakra, cycle of cycles. This is Vesti, means individual, and this is Samasti. And you see the circles here. Yoga Kshem, and through Karma Phala, then Yagna, and then back again. Now, simple word is that once we are born, after we are born, we are taken care of by a samasti. Now, what is the samasti? It's our family. It's our parents. And the extended family, our grandfather, Koka, Aita, Nana, Nani, Dada, Dadi, Fupa, Fupi, Khura, Khuri, Mahi, Moha, Mama, that if this says extended family, and this is family takes care of or nurtures us. That's how I grow from a child. Otherwise, I am helpless. I cannot grow. So, as an individual, it is a samasti, the family. Then the society, my neighborhood, the playground I go play with the children, the school I go, that's a samasti. You see how unfortunate today I am staying in a flat, but I don't know my other occupants. Though we have a society, that society is driven to such selfish interest, but then I don't know that. See where are we moving towards? Are we expanding? Where are we moving to? What do we want in life? So as I grow, I am actually taken care by samasti all along. My education, my schooling and all, it's a collective which is taking care of my growth. Then I start working. And what is this? The Yogakshema. Through Yogakshema, I am made capable, and then I go back to the samasti and I work. And after I work, again the samasti starts giving me back, my salary, my honor, my position. I'm working in a voluntary sector, I'm a secretary there, whatever it is. It is ultimately the collective which gives me back. Every moment, it is a collective, it's a samasti which is nurturing the individual. He's a president of some society or a director of an institute. It's that salary that we are giving, all this. Without that samasti, that individual is helpless. But that individual, once the individual starts through that karma phala, he starts giving back to the samasti through yagna. Then the samasti can again come back. What is happening? This yagna is not happening. Yagna means the Govt of India. Similarly, the person, the individual, through his work should give back to the society. We all understand what we mean by giving back to the society. Today, the society is getting poorer or will get poorer, the society, if the individual doesn't start giving back. Climate change, global warming, all these things that we see. Now, these are driven by technology. Today, the Americans or the West, they show smart, one technology or the other, they come up. But sustainable development, I'm afraid is not going to be, or a West can give that solution. No. Because the approach or the philosophy of sustainability is not the correct approach. Bharat is a place where still sustainable development is being practiced. Organic cultivation is still being practiced. If you take that only example, if I just go beyond that 30% people who are concentrated on the cities and towns and so on, if you go to the 70% of Bharat, you'll see the farmer practicing organic, but he's not claiming it. Neither we are trying to bring him into the temple. Similarly, the sacred groves, the relation of the forest. Northeast, we are in the Northeast. If you look into the indigenous faith, it is all about nature, culture, well-being, community ownership. See, all this if you put together, then the samasti can give back to the Vesti, or if the Vesti gives back to the samasti will be empowered enough to give back to the society. Again, so this dharma chakra is for us. So that's why it's called the man-made flood. Why man-made? All these things are there because of this. So this chakra is called the dharma chakra. And when we say dharma, it's a dharma of a river. We have polluted it. We are cleaning Ganga now because we have polluted it. The dharma, the river has been following the dharma. It's dharma. The tree has been following its dharma. But we greedy people has given enough fertilizer and all to make the tree corrupt also, or the soil corrupt also. So all this thing, it's the Anthropocene or something, that's how it's been put in anthropological terms. So it is man-made. It is because we lack knowledge. The way I said, my unlearning will happen because of Vivekananda Kendra. I was fortunate to, be put on the right track. Today, again, India, politically, there's a lot of change that we see. I do not understand much of politics, except I know that's still divisive, which the Britishers taught us, it's still there. It will be there, I guess, because it is not only here, the global power are rushing towards power, Southeast Asia. That's why the interest in Northeast. It is not to uplift the people of Northeast, I don't think so. It is the growth in Southeast Asia and how to take advantage of the growth. But then when people of Northeast, what do we do? Do we allow them to stampede over us? So what is the solution? So the solution is only, if you go deeper within us, we'll get the solution. And it's time that such future knowledge, such future product or a technology should come up. And such institute like yours, where all the best brains come here, the intellectually sharp. Only thing is that yoga, the practice of yoga or the internal movement, it's again very important to once again go within. It's not for mukti. And that's what Sri Aurobindo or Swami Vivekananda said, that it is because that we are too much driven for our mukti, salvation and all, that we have been continuously attacked. 2000 plus years. Then the Britishers have lately been there, and then they have actually cut that beautiful tree. That's what Dharampal says, and Swami Mahatma Gandhi's, one of his meetings with the Britishers, that's how that book came, that you have cut the beautiful tree. So it's a culture, it's a dharma, and that's what Swami Vivekananda in this Chicago address went there, and then had appraised the gathering, has touched each and everyone's soul. That Kokili par in Jorhat, where yoga was discussed, the Vasistha ashram here, Parashuram Kund, these things denotes or depicts that yoga has been there, that historical journey has also been said. But then after, in the 70s, 80s, what happened in America, see, that's again very important. We have to understand the West. As Swamiji said, we have to understand how objective they are, how scientific they are, they applied they are, and and how organized they are. We have to learn from the West about all these things, and we have to tell them what spirituality is, and then only that will create the new world order. That's what he said. Like Gandhiji said, open your windows, let the westerlies blow in, but do not let it uproot you. So there are a lot of things where we need to understand from the West, but then we also have to understand what's the purpose, what is going to drive it, and what is our role, and what our traditional knowledge, the system, our culture, our dharma tells us. So in this challenging time of climate change, global warming, war, we can see. On the other hand, we see International Yoga Day. Today, globally, people will be celebrating. It's becoming like a Utsava, and this is the 8th year. This is a journey, or this is a leadership which India has to take. And yoga, when it comes to yoga, it is, not only as Director Sir has started taking it, it's not merely asanas or pranayams. It is a medium, then again to expand and to move to understand the larger self, or as physics is talking about, the universal intelligence. So, of course, this Ramdev Maharaj had a very important role to play to take yoga asana in today's time to a lot many people, and a lot of people are practicing or taking to yoga. But I request here that let it not be a protocol. Today, a lot of organizers are celebrating it because they've been asked to. A circular has come and they're doing it. And again, next year they will do it. But then, my earnest request to all of you, whoever has participated, or have no others doing it, should take the message that this should be a continuous process. This should become a part of our life. It is a life. If we really want to understand life, if we really want growth and expansion, there is no other alternative. It's a very scientific process, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy it. It's an adventure by itself. As Sat Prem, one of the disciples of Sri Aurobindo and Mother, said, it's an adventure of consciousness. It's adventurous. So with this, I will, before I conclude, I'd just like to say a few words about Vivekananda Kendra. I don't know how many of you know about it. Vivekananda Kendra.
Call it myth or call it reality. It's not attitude where we are trying to treat even inanimate things as people, with dignity, with respect, with honor. And we can well imagine if we can treat inanimate stuff with respect and dignity, what to speak of where there is life? What to speak of trees and plants and birds and animals and polar bears and aquatics? And what to speak of human beings? What to speak of a kid in Somalia? What to speak of someone in Siberia? What to speak of sanitation issues in India? We are talking about a philosophy that teaches sensitivity. I mean, they say that things are meant to be used and people are meant to be loved. In the world today, things are loved and people are used to get those things. Not just people. Trees are used to get those things. Not just trees. Animals are used to get those things. Not just animals. Water bodies are used to get those things. We live in a world where we are constantly exploiting the resources that nature has provided us simply so that we can have those things for our mass consumerism. And we talk about climate change, don't we? And which is why the philosophy of yoga is a philosophy that influences thought. Don't they say, watch your thoughts, they turn into words. Watch your words, they turn into actions. Watch your actions, they turn into a habit. Watch your habits, they turn into a character. Watch your character, it's